Okay, in this one we're going to try to do a mask, an animated mask. And the first step, I just pasted some lorem ipsum text in there. And I'm going to convert it to a symbol. I'm going to go ahead and put the registration point in the top left. We'll just call this text. Now inside, I'm going to double click on that symbol, go inside, and then I'm going to make a little square on another layer. So one layer is going to be the text, and then this layer will be the mask. So on the mask layer, I'm going to put a little square right here. And it really doesn't matter what color it is. In fact, it also doesn't matter if it has an outline. So I'm going to double click and get rid of that, because you may not be able to see it, but there's an outline. Just get rid of the outline. So double click the outline, hit delete. Now this, I could just make this be the mask. And in case you don't understand the mask process, let me show you the effect. If I right click and say mask, you basically only get to see the text layer through whatever shape is on the mask layer. So I'm going to scoot it over, and in this case we're going to actually animate that. And I could just animate this layer right here, but so I could just animate right here on this layer. I could do a shape tween, but there's a much smarter way to do it. I'm going to convert this to a symbol, and let's see, what should I call it? Rectangle expanding. So there we go. Now I'm going to double click on that, and inside here there's very significant, the difference between what I'm doing here and what I could have done outside. Let me go back outside. Here is where we were. I double click on this little rectangle that I just created, and now I'm on a totally different timeline. So here is where I'll click on the frame and say shape. Now I'm going to go out about 75 frames, hit F7, and now select it, grab this tool, expand it out, and because this animation is on the mask layer, when we go outside this symbol, it's going to animate the mask. Now if I just export it right now, that's what you get, and it just keeps repeating. That might actually be a little fast, so I'm going to select some of this, just select a random amount, and I'm going to hit F5. That'll basically make it take that much longer. Yeah, I like that better, but I don't like the fact that it's looping around. Every time it reaches the end of the animation, it's starting over. So I'm going to hit F6 up here on another layer. I'm going to call this code, and this will be the mask or rectangle. So I'm going to hit F6 up here, select that, put a stop action. So now when it gets to the end, it'll actually stop. Now from this step, because I built it this way, if I go outside here and if I copy and put another one here, let's see, wait a second, I gotta use this tool. Use the black arrow tool. If you hold Control and drag down, it'll make another copy. So, well, that didn't work. It's interesting. I would have thought that that would work. So I guess what I need to do is probably convert this to a symbol, which is actually going to push this rectangle animation down one more level. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to call this rectangle holder. And then I'm going to go inside there, and now you'll notice it's a totally new timeline. You might be wondering where that shape tween went. That's inside this one. You see, because when I converted it to a symbol, there it is. When I converted it to a symbol, I actually, it pushed it down one level. So now if I make another, it'll do that. And that's what I want. And in fact, I want to make a bunch of them. I'm going to situate them all like that. and they're not exactly lined up. So I'm going to select all of them. I'm going to open the alignment panel, and I'm going to click this. I'm going to unselect to stage, do that. Maybe I'll use the arrow keys to scoot them over a little bit. Then I'm going to do space evenly vertical, and that does that to it. So now it should be, yeah, they're all unveiling, and that's really cool. But there's even one more step further. While these are all selected, I'm going to right click and say distribute to layers, and then I'm going to offset these. I'm going to grab these, scoot them over, and then I'll grab these and scoot them over, and grab these. So I'm putting some space in between. I'm going 25 frames over, and so let me finish this process. Alright, now it's not going to work like it is, because as soon as if you push play here, you can see they're just blinking, and that's because I haven't told the computer that I actually want to see them past just a millisecond, really. Because if you look over here, this is just there for a millisecond, and then it disappears. So the way to fix that is go way out here, make a stripe, and hit F5. So now we got that effect, which is pretty cool. Alright, so at this point, if you take a look at the final product, it's revealing one line at a time, and then as soon as it gets to the end of the animation, it loops back around. So I actually want it to stop when it gets to the end. The way to do that is have another layer up here with nothing on it. At the very top, I'm going to hit F6, and I'm going to call that code, and in that keyframe, I'm going to put stop. So now when it gets to the end, it'll just stop. Looks like that one didn't go far enough over, did it? So let me go inside here and just make sure that yeah, it's not going quite as far over. So let me drag that over. And it just so happens that I'm going out to like 133 frames. I'm gonna go ahead and scoot this back by selecting it, and then I'm gonna get rid of this. And now, so every reveal line takes about 100 frames. So if I don't like the fact that, you know, we don't complete one line before the next one gets revealed, I could fix that by making sure that each of these takes 100 frames. So I'm going to select like that, a big swath, and scoot it out. And now I'm actually past 100 frames, so I'm going to select that whole big block and get rid of that. And now you'll notice the first line finishes before the second line starts. So that's how you can deal with that. You just got to make sure that you select all of the layers, hit F5 2 or 3 times. Looks like a third time will take care of it. Now just beyond 200, I'm going to take away those frames. Then I'm going to do it again right here. 1, 2, 3. Looks like a fourth time will fix it. Then right past 300, I'll get rid of those. These are just techniques that you really need to master. Handling getting rid of extra frames and that sort of thing. So now I'll do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And at 500, I'm going to get rid of that. Right click, remove frames. By the way, I'm hitting F5 with my left hand as I select with my right. I hit F5, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I get rid of everything past 600. And let me see, that last one needs to go to 700. So now I'll get rid of this. I don't want to get rid of that last frame though, because it has the code written in it up at the top. You can see it right there. So now if I play it, it waits till the previous line has to finish before second or third starts. And if I wanted to speed it up, interestingly enough, these are all copies of each other. So if I go inside here and I make this happen faster, if I delete some of these frames, if I right click and say remove frames, every one of them is going to happen that much faster. Oh, actually that presents a problem because now I'd have to edit the distance. So I'm going to undo that because since this is 100 frames, I'd have to go and readjust all these distances to match. There are other ways to work around this, but for now that will suffice. Thanks for watching.